Welcome to all. I am Dr. Asha Kadam from Department of Botany, Dada Patil Mahavidyalaya, Karjat. Today we learn about the next plant cell organelle, that is the microbodies. In the previous lecture we learned about the microbodies, that is type first peroxisomes, which play an important role in the detoxification in the cell and also in the process of photorespiration. So today we learn the next part of the microbody, that is the glyoxysome. We know that glyoxysome is the second type of the microbodies. So today we learn the morphology of glyoxysome, ultrastructure of glyoxysome, chemical composition and the functions of the glyoxysome. So when we observe the ultrastructure of this glyoxysome under the electron microscope, that time we observe the image like this, that is the glyoxysomes, which are very minute particles or the bodies which are present in the cell. So when we learn the discovery of glyoxysome, that time we say that in 1961, first time Harry Beavers, they first time discovered the glyoxysomes in 1961. Beavers and their postdoctoral fellow, Oz, that is the Bill Breadbatch, they analyzed the linear sucrose gradient of endosperm, which are homogeneous, and show that the glyoxylate cycle means when the Harry and his postdoctoral fellow observed these tiny body, that time they analyzed that there is the linear sucrose gradient. These linear sucrose gradients are of the endosperm, they homogeneous and show that the glyoxylate cycle. So, the enzymes which were found in an organelles, the fraction that was not observed in the mitochondria, means in the glyoxysomes, the enzymes which are present, they are specific, they are not present even in the mitochondria. Beavers and the Breadbatch. These Beavers and the Breadbatch, they called these are the new organelles, and this Beaver and the Breadbatch, they give the name of these organelle, that is the glyoxysome. So first time in 1961, Beavers and the Breadbatch, they observed the organelle, that is the glyoxysomes, which are present in the cells, and in these glyoxysomes there are some enzymes which are yet not present in the mitochondria, which play an important role in the glyoxylate cycle. So next, introduction of glyoxysomes. So glyoxysomes are the specialized peroxisomes which are found in the plant, particularly in the fat storage tissues of the germinating seeds. We know that the fat storage tissues are present in the germinating seeds, and these glyoxysomes are also present in these fat storage tissues of the germinating seeds and is also present in the filamentous fungi. These glyoxysomes possesses the key enzymes, that is the glyoxylate cycles, that is isocitrate lyase and the maltate synthetase. These are the two enzymes which are present in the glyoxysomes, which act as a glyoxylate cycle, that is isocitrate lyase. Isocitrate lyase and the maltate synthetase, these are the two enzymes which are present in the glyoxysomes. Glyoxysomes are found in contact with the lipid body. they are always found in contact with these lipid bodies which are present in the cotyledons or endosperms, where the fatty acids are being converted into the carbohydrate, that is the sugar molecule, during the process of the germinations. Means these glyoxysomes, they are found in contact with the lipid bodies which are present in the cotyledon and the endosperms, where the fatty acids are converted into the carbohydrate, that is the sugar compound or the molecules, during the process of a germination. So hence the glyoxysomes, as all the peroxisomes also, they both contains the enzymes which initiate the breakdown of fatty acid compound, and additionally also they possesses the enzyme to produce intermediate product for the synthesis of sugars by the process of gluconeogenesis. So these glyoxysomes as well as the peroxisomes, they contain the enzymes. These enzymes having the ability to break down of the fatty acid molecules. Additionally, also they possesses some enzymes to produce the intermediate product for the synthesis of sugars by the process of gluconeogenesis. The seedlings uses the sugars for the synthesized from the fats until it is mature enough to produce them by the photosynthesis. Means the seedlings, they uses these sugar molecules for the synthesize, which are synthesized from the fats until it is mature enough to produce them by photosynthesis. Glyoxysomes also participate in the process of photorespiration, and this also play an important role in the metabolism in root nodules. Means these glyoxysomes do not participated in the breakdown of the fatty molecules only, but they also play an important role in the process of a photorespiration, and they play an important role in the metabolism in the root nodules. So succinate that produced in the glyoxysomes is ultimately converted to the sucrose in the cytosol. Means succinate which are produced in the glyoxysome, they are ultimately the succinate converted to the sucrose in the cytosol, and it is presumed that presence of these glyoxysomes in senescent organs is in response to the mobilization of a membrane lipids. Means here there is assumed that the presence of the glyoxysomes in senescent organ that always in response to the mobilization of membrane lipids. So when we learn some characteristic of glyoxysomes, that time we say that these glyoxysomes are the single bound membrane organelle. Means they having a only single membrane. They have high equilibrium density gradient in sucrose centrifugation. Means these glyoxysomes, they are having a high equilibrium density gradient in sucrose centrifugation. The matrix, that is the inner content of these glyoxysomes, is also finally very granular. When we learn the glyoxylate cycle with respect to this glyoxysome, that time there is the another process that involving the glyoxylate or glycolytic enzymes and the metabolites which are present in the glyoxysomes. And these glycolytic enzymes and the metabolites, they play an important role, or they involve or they participate in the cycle of a glyoxylate. That is we call as the glyoxylate cycle, where the succinate is converted into the sugar molecules. When we see the details about this glyoxylate cycle, then in the glyoxylate cycle, there is a variation of the tricarboxylic acid cycle. Is an anaerobic pathway which are occurring in the plant, bacteria, fungi and the protist. The glycolate cycle that centers on the conversion of acetyl coenzyme A to succinate for the synthesis of a carbohydrate. After this glyoxylate cycle, they allows cell to neutralize simple carbon compound, and when they neutralize the simple carbon compound as a carbon source, there is a complex source such as the glucose is not available. So that time there is synthesis of a malate. So here these are diagrams showing that there is the glycolytic enzymes. They play an important role in this glycocycle. Here the glycolytic enzymes which are present in the glyoxysomes, that is the isocitrate lyase and the malate synthetase, they are always play an important role in this glyoxylate cycle for the conversion of the succinate molecules into the sugar molecules. So it is an anaerobic, or we say that the anabolic pathways which are occurring in the plants and several microorganisms, but they are not present in the animals. The pathway they are occurs only in the glyoxysomes. The enzymes are common to the TCA cycle and the glyoxysomes, that are the isozyme. One is specific to mitochondria and the other also glyoxysomes. These glyoxylate cycles, they allows plant to use acetyl coenzyme A, which derived from the beta oxidation of fatty acid for the synthesis of carbohydrate. Here they are uses the fats for the synthesis of the carbohydrate. Means the acetyl coenzyme A is totally oxidized and they form the carbon dioxide. So here the oxidation process occurs in the mitochondria and peroxisomes in the mammals, but exclusively in the peroxisome in the plant and the yeast, that is the Saccharomyces cerevisiae also. So when we enlisted some functions of glyoxysomes, then we say that the cycles allows cell to use lipid as a source of energy to form the shoot and the root during the process, that is the germination. Means this glyoxylate cycle is always allows seed to use the lipid as a source of energy to form the shoot and the root during the process of a germination. The lipid that stores, they are used for the formation of carbohydrate that are the fuel for the growth and the development of the organism. Means the lipids which are stored in the plant, they are used for the formation of carbohydrate which are the fuel for the growth and development of the organisms. So glyoxysomes also functions in the process of photorespiration and the nitrogen fixation. When we learn the role of these glyoxysomes in the process of gluconeogenesis, that time we say that the fatty acids which are from the lipid, they are commonly used as an energy. Means the fatty acids from the lipids that we call as the energy. These energy sourced by the vertebrates, that is the fatty acid, they degraded through the beta oxidation process into the acetate molecule, and these acetate molecules, they are bound to the active thiol group of coenzyme A. They enters the citric acid cycle where there is fully oxidized to the carbon dioxide, and this pathway thus allows the cell to obtain the energy from the fat. So here today we learn about the second part of the microbody, that is the glyoxysome. Glyoxysome is a minute or very small body which are present in the cytosol that we call as the glyoxysome. This glyoxysome is mostly found in the plant and the filamentous fungi, and also sometimes is present in the yeast. So these glyoxysomes, they play an important role in the process of glyoxylate cycle, where the succinate is converted into the sugar particles or the molecules which used as a fuel, or we say that source of energy. These glyoxysomes not only participated in the glyoxylate cycles, but they are also participated in the process of the photorespiration. In the photorespiration, also these glyoxysomes play an important role in the form of a fatty acids which acts as a fuel, that is the source of a energy. Thank you.